Hello and welcome to Hellbent Holler Live. Let us know in the chat that you can see us and you can hear us, and we will get started with the show tonight. Just let us know.
Just let us know.
Is there anybody out there? All right, let's see.
All good. Lady Wolf says we're all
We got the
good.
go-ahead.
We got the thumbs up. So I guess before we get started, we should at least address the loss that the cryptid community suffered this week. Scott Carpenter passed away. So
yeah, that was extremely unexpected. He was relatively young, and he was always out hiking. And so that was completely unexpected. Apparently, he passed away from a brain aneurysm. So that can come at any time. You don't know. So
live every day like it's your last, man.
Yeah,
so.
Definitely. Say your prayers, take care of your family, and tell everybody you love them, because you don't know. You just don't know when something like that could happen.
And it sucks because he was going to be at the Tennessee Wildman and CryptidCon with us.
Yeah,
and
he was.
I was like legit looking forward to being able to possibly speak with him, and now that has happened. So, and it's funny too, because we had just put our library together, and I had just pulled this out of a box, about a week ago, 5 days ago, something like that. And regardless of what you feel about the Ketchum DNA study or anything like that, this is a really well written book. It's really well thought out. Even if you don't agree with the theories that Scott Carpenter put forward, you've got to admit that they were well thought out and that he did a good job of presenting his argument.
He was one of the first people to really go in on the Nephilim theory when it came to Bigfoot, a theory that is now widely popularized by folks like Blurry Creatures. And I hear a lot of people making the Nephilim connection now, but he was one of the first people to really bring that to the forefront and really hypothesize that Bigfoot, Sasquatch could have Nephilim origins.
Yeah. And it's a shame, man. I mean, like, again, regardless of what you thought of his theories, he didn't follow the herd. You know what I'm saying? So we're always like, what we need is more original thinking. And boy, he was original, at least. So that's just an absolute crying shame. So
yep.
All right. So rough week on stuff like that, man. Our buddy Matt with Central Florida Bigfoot ended up in the hospital.
Yes. So Central Florida Bigfoot is his main research area is basically a swamp in Florida. He refers to as the corridor, and he's out there all the time.
I mean, he's out there like all the time.
And I think one of his most recent videos that we watched, he was in knee-deep water that was stagnant swamp water.
Swamp water.
And that, I guess, that hospitalized him. He got an infection when he was in the hospital, but he's doing better now. But that kind of just shows you how dangerous doing field work is. That you go out there and you do take on risks by doing field work, like Matt at Central Florida Bigfoot, like we do, like a lot of others do, go out there and really put that risk on yourself. So it's really important, if you do field research, which we highly encourage you to do, please take precaution, take care of yourself. Make sure that you have bug spray so you don't get ticks and get bit by a tick and maybe get Lyme disease.
Yeah. So,
and make sure that you don't get, make sure that you are just mindful and be careful. But there's always going to be something that'll happen. That's just the way of it. That's just.
I mean, they always say don't follow the lights into the woods, and we've taken off after lights before, then just gone, whoa, there's a huge drop off here.
Yeah.
So it's definitely has its pitfalls, and like I said, so our buddy Matt is out of the hospital now. He's gonna have to take it easy. Swearing he's not going waist deep in the swamp anymore, but let's see how long that lasts.
Yeah.
So. Todd, thank you for that. And then thank you for honoring Scott Carpenter. Again, we literally had spoken to Scott Carpenter maybe for 30 seconds one time years ago. We really didn't have any sort of like correspondence with him or anything like that, but we were really looking forward to speaking with him because, again, he operates in our general area in the Appalachians. And it was crazy. We were at home and I just started getting all these text messages asking if I'd heard anything about it. And I think Barton Nunling was the one who was able to kind of confirm that it had happened. But anyway, thank you for that, Todd. We greatly appreciate that. Thank you. So.
Wizard Moon was mentioned. I always worry about ticks. Yeah, that's why we don't go to the LBL. We learned our lesson pretty quickly after the Dogman conference last year. We went to the LBL and did an investigation out there. We went at night and then we went back the next day, and we just got overrun with the seed ticks, which are the teeny tiny ones. We had to actually use a lint roller all over our bodies several times to get them off of us. So we're never going back to the LBL during the summer again, but make sure that you put on your bug spray, your DEET and everything like that. Because Lyme disease is no joke. Rocky Mountain spotted fever is no joke. So make sure that you take care of yourself. Take some precautions. So Sam Burton has Lyme disease. So
Leslie Rhodes, I'm very glad that there's a South Carolina-based cryptid investigations group. We didn't really spend a lot of time in our home state until very recently. We mostly operated in North Georgia, where we would go to Kentucky quite a few times throughout the year, Western North Carolina, but not that much in South Carolina until recently. And now it's like the floodgates have opened up. So if you're in South Carolina and you have had something strange happen to you, email us at
hellbentholler@gmail.com.
You got it up there.
We also have snail mail. It's P.O. Box 777. You can see that right there. Pelzer, South Carolina, 29669. I'm into the numbers, aren't I?
Yeah.
So you can always send us snail mail, or you can always email us at hellbentholler@gmail.com. Let us know if you have a South Carolina experience that you want to kind of talk to us about, because we've really been focusing on South Carolina lately.
Yeah.
And it's been pretty interesting. It's actually been crazier than us going to all these different places. It's weird how often you kind of overlook your own backyard.
Yeah, exactly. And we're hearing about spots that, if you look on a map, they wouldn't stand out to you that much. But then you start getting repeated 2, 3, 4 people saying, yeah, I was down in this area and had this happen. And you're going, wow, that sounds pretty much word for word like the last email that I got from that place an hour before. So yeah,
we're starting to build some really nice files on certain areas, and it seems like there are multiple stories from the same general area. So that's always something really good to look for. A lot of you have reached out to us and given us your stories and told us about what you've encountered in these places. So we are building case files on all of these locations. But if you've been anywhere in the upstate, primarily of South Carolina, the Dark Corner area, the upstate, Oconee County, Pickens County, Anderson County, Greenville County. If you've had an experience or you've seen something up there, give us an email, shoot us an email and let us know. We'd like to hear what you've seen. And we're not going to necessarily share your story if you don't want us to, but we're just kind of building these files on these areas right now.
Commenter that I just put up, Clasby, I guess. I'm a hunter in Abbeville and Greenwood counties.
Oh,
so
cool.
Okay.
Yeah, we were looking at some stuff down in around the McCormick area. We're working. We've got a case down there, but we haven't really done much with it yet. But we've got a case down towards McCormick that we want to start working on.
Oops, I'm all over the place on these comments right now. Abnormal Investigations popped in. How are you, kind sir? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing real well there. Stay safe out there. Like I said, it's just been one bad news after the other with people that are involved in this stuff this week.
Yeah. And it doesn't help that it's just the worst part of summer right now and going into the next couple of weeks. So everybody stay hydrated, take care of yourself. If you need to take a break, take a break. We took a break a week or so ago. We didn't go out because it was so hot. It was just too dangerous for us to try to go out, carry all the water and everything like that. So it's okay to take a break.
Up with good friend South Force 10, Rich Mountain Trail going through Cades Cove to Fontana is closed due to bear activity.
There's a lot of bear activity this year.
It's really bear activity. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you guys have never been to South Force 10's channel, check it out. Not now. Wait until we're done tonight. But he's got just a great channel with a lot of really, really good information on it. It's one of those channels that we watch whenever something new comes out. Of course, we don't get notifications half the time. So we'll be scanning through going, did you know South Force 10 had a new video out? So anyway, he's part of that southern paranormal cabal that seems to be kind of loosely forming up at this point. So
Al Lassiter, he's in the upstate. He asked if we got some bad storms. Yes, we got very bad storms.
We may lose power, and if that happens,
stick around.
Stick around.
We've got battery backups for everything.
We've got all of our battery backups that we use in the field, and we're just going to rig everything with battery backups and then just come right back.
Yeah, because it's been crazy all night.
So, all right, good buddy.
All right.
The gang's all here.
Hey,
so,
let's get into this. You ready?
Let's get into this. Yeah.
Jumpergate.
Jumpergate.
So this past week, I released a video. A lot of you have already seen this. Obviously, if you guys are regular subscribers and you come on the channel a lot and you've seen a lot of our stuff before, I'm sure you've seen the burning light video. This is captured at the end of the burning light video after we came back the next morning or the next afternoon and got all of those readings and walked around the area and checked out the area where we saw what appeared to be a portal open up. We went back the next day and walked around there and checked that out. And then as we were leaving, heading down the old roadbed back to where we were parked down on the forestry road, Joe pans around with the camera, and there's what appears to be something up in the trees, going from one tree and then kind of bending the tree and it looks like it's almost riding it.
We didn't think anything of it because, again, by the time this video gets up, we've reviewed for like a 16-hour outing. It's usually 30 some hours of footage and stuff like that with the various like cameras and thermals and whatnot that we have. Somebody that watches our channel, was it Take Two Wheels did the first one? I can't remember.
I don't remember. Yeah, I think it was
Take Two Wheels. It's on our chat. Sent us the slowed down versions. He saw something, and then people started talking about the chat. So Jessi took the footage, and I just want to hit this real quick. Thank you, Richard Cox.
Yeah, thank you, Richard. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Scott Carpenter autographed his books for him. We ran into him just as a brief aside at the Smoky Mountain Bigfoot conference, 4 years ago?
Yeah.
Something like that. He wasn't even speaking. He was just attending, and we just talked to him really, really briefly. And like I said, we were looking forward to really kind of maybe actually getting to converse
really
with
looking
him.
forward to that.
But anyway, so Jessi released some of the slowed down and enhanced footage, just going basically.
How many of y'all watched that and went enhance? Enhance.
So she released that, just going, hey, what do you guys think this is? Did we catch like a cryptid?
Yeah, I think the title was, did we catch a cryptid on film? Bigfoot, Cherokee, little people.
Because people have got differing opinions on it. And it drove people freaking crazy.
Because I showed that slowed down footage to you guys on a live one night and everybody was talking about it. So I was like,
some people don't see anything. Some people think it's a turkey. Some people think it's a squirrel.
Yeah.
Some people think it's a person and that we had somebody in the trees and hoaxed it.
Yeah.
We've got a professional, I don't know, like acrobat in the trees doing this. So, but what's crazy is we almost compared it to, what was that photo that was on the internet?
Okay, yeah, there was two things that happened around the same time in the world of the internet. There was that bridesmaid dress that these people posted, and people were arguing, was the gold dress like
gold or blue?
Gold or blue, yeah, or white or blue.
I can't remember what it was. All I know is that people got there.
What color is the dress? Actually, that guy just got arrested for domestic violence, actually.
Did he really?
Yes. Huh. The guy that posted the dress.
Fitting. So, anyway.
It's all, time is a flat circle. Time is a flat circle. So, yeah, so it kind of reminded me of that. And at the same time, there was the Laurel and Yanni thing.
Yeah.
Where you could hear the thing and couldn't decide if it was
And it drove people crazy. People were like literally issuing death threats over that online.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what we got from this video. I've had so many people like, and I'm sure you've experienced it too. You guys are ruining the subject of Bigfoot research. And I'm going,
oh yeah, people said that.
Some people saw this in a video. We don't know what it is. We put it out there to see what people think. Some people are telling us that we've caught like a juvenile Bigfoot. I don't think there's any juvenile Bigfoot up there. So I don't know what it is. Some people think it's a turkey. I don't see a turkey.
Well, and then there was a lot of comments of it is a leaf and a twig that's like 5 feet from your camera. We definitely know it's not that.
Because there was no leaves 5 feet from the camera.
There was no leaves 5 feet from the camera, and it wasn't coming down at the speed that a leaf and a twig would come down and be 5 feet from the camera. So it's definitely not that. It could be a bundle of leaves, I guess, but it looks like the tree is bending down.
I thought it was a camera artifact of some sort until I started looking at some of the other slowed footage that people sent us. And then that's when I was like, I don't know, you know. But man, it riled people up.
It really riled people up. It really did.
Instead of people just going, hey, guys, I think this is what this is. And we got a lot of that too. But then we had people that we have ruined the subject of Bigfoot research. And I'm going, I don't even think this is a Bigfoot. Yes, how dare you? You know what? It's been teetering on the edge for years, and you guys are the a-holes who just shoved it over at this point.
We've done it.
Last credibility of the field had gone because of y'all.
I just want to say that I'm very proud that I'm the one who ruined Bigfoot.
Yeah, exactly.
But what's funny is I never said, look at this juvenile Bigfoot leaping from tree to tree. I never said anything. I said, what do you think it is? And then it just sparked this wildfire of
those people were cool, but there was definitely
fight.
We had to, when I logged in earlier, you know how it filters out offensive comments? We occasionally get stuff like that. This time I was just like, I just kind of looked at it and it was like, you know, would you like to display the comments? And I'm like, comments, plural? Bam. Yeah. All right. There we go. So yeah, it was, so it's just been, you bunch of buzz killing researchers. Sorry, I got sidetracked by the chat, but yeah, it drove people crazy, man.
Contagious Cajun says, I originally thought it was a turkey after monkeying with the exposure and contrast, but that's when I noticed it is indeed a leaf. Okay. So it's far away. It's not 5 feet from the camera, but I don't think it's a leaf. I'm going to go with it's not a leaf, but I did pull some screen grabs for you guys to see if you guys want to see some screen grabs of it.
Ray Provencio watched and enjoyed your interviews on Appalachian Intelligence and Calling All Beans.
Thank you.
Thank you. We had a ball on both of those.
Yeah.
And we were pretty much sworn off doing interviews. And
before that, yeah.
Then we did that and we just had we just clicked with both groups of people.
Mm-hmm.
They were just phenomenal people. And you'll probably end up seeing us kind of doing stuff with both groups in the future as well. Very open-minded, they're into the weirder stuff like we are. They're open to those possibilities. So we appreciate that though, right? Thank you very much. So thank you.
E-Rev said, leave it alone, Cajun.
So
it could be a leaf. Listen, I'm not going to poo-poo what you have to say. It could be a leaf. It could be a leaf. I do have, see, he kindly disagrees here. See, he kindly disagrees.
And that's fine. And Joey Sweet never said it was a Bigfoot or anything. Said, what do you think?
Yes, I
did. We put that video out. And now I guess you could say this, that we put it out on purpose without mentioning it. But wasn't that video out for like a little while before Take Two Wheels like emailed us? And I think Take Two Wheels was the first one to email us going, hey, did you guys notice this? Or was it brought up in the chat first? I can't remember. But anyway, people brought it up and we went back and forth on it. And yeah, Sam, go that one,
first one?
Back one.
Okay, so that's the first one.
All right. See, I don't know, man. All right, I don't know. But it other people pointed that out to us and then started looking at it. And of course, that sparked in my mind, if it is something, what else have we missed just because there's just
there's a big possibility.
Two people, well, mostly her. She mostly does most of the video review.
Yeah. There's no telling what we've missed.
And I've always thought, did we like stretch and yawn at one particular moment? And then bam, that's when it flashed by.
So I'm going to show you guys some screen grabs of it. It's just 3 frames of whatever this is. The leaf, Sasquatch, turkey, squirrel, acrobat. All right, let's throw this up. I'm going to show you guys.
Now, real quick before you do it, Kim Drescher said this. This is what kind of... It does appear that it bends the tree that if it's landing in a tree, it appears that tree bends. I guess it's not beyond the realm of possibility that's an optical illusion. But when I saw Take Two Wheels of stuff, I just went, all right, I went from saying it's nothing to saying there's a possibility that it's something. So.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Make sure we get that. All right. Got that. Now we're going to Pew! Hey, look at me using technology. All right, so I'm going to take that off of there. All right, so we seeing this again?
We are seeing this, yes.
Huzzah. All right, so here we go.
Huzzah!
Huzzah. So here is a screen grab of it. And if you look here, we've got like a limb. It looks like an arm or a foot here maybe, and a limb, like an arm grabbing onto the limb here at the tree. All right, so that looks like a tree. Can you see my cursor?
I can see your cursor.
Oh my God, look at me. The Bigfoot boomer lives. Okay. So this is the tree that it looks like it's going on. And people were mentioning that it looks like it rides it down. So these are 3 consecutive frames. All right.
Hold on, let me put this up with
Okay.
Martin's comment. So anyway.
And then there. And then there. It looks like the tree is moving down. Now, it could be that the camera is moving, and that's just an optical illusion. But you can tell whatever this is back there in the trees. It's not super close to the camera.
Yeah, it wasn't super close.
It's not 5 feet from the camera, so it's not a leaf 5 feet from the camera. But you can see in these single frames here, these consecutive frames, that it does kind of move. The tree moves a bit, but it could be the camera.
And
moving.
see, here's the thing, is that we got all sorts of stuff like this. Like Rickle Egan said, somebody with a parachute. Somebody just said,
but the shape is real weird. Now I could see a turkey in this conversation, but it's just weird to me. To me, it looks like
the back of it looks like it's square, like it's got something.
I swear, it looks like it's got a leg here, an arm here, and an arm here. But I don't know. Again, that's why I put this thing up. That's why we put this thing up, so people could look at it and tell me what the heck you think it is. So yeah. I don't know.
We're not real big on like pushing like full blown like developed narratives on like anything. We just go, I think this is kind of weird. Something's going on. We just don't know what. Mm-hmm. Okay. And on that, we know that there's weird stuff going on in that area. No one has ever been able to, or nor will anyone be able to debunk that burning light we saw.
No.
It wasn't trust me, it wasn't a drone, wasn't a camping lantern, it wasn't a flashlight, it wasn't a road flare, it wasn't swamp gas, it wasn't, I don't know what else could have been. Anyway, it wasn't any of those. I don't know what it was. It was something completely outside of my understanding of what it could have been. This is just interesting, but you're right. It could be a lot of stuff, you know. Puckwudgie.
Tarzan in a ghillie suit.
Tarzan in a ghillie suit. Linda looks like it's wearing a backpack. People are saying Puckwudgie. Now this area we have found.
Whoa, my God. See, that freaks me out more than anything. What if this is some creature that's wearing a freaking like backpack?
It's a parachute. They're dropping them in.
They're the drop bears.
They're drop bears. Oh, good Lord. But damn, I lost my train of thought on
I'm
that.
sorry.
So this area does factor. It has, how do I want to say this? The Cherokee Little People have like supposedly exist on this mountain along with like other stuff. And we have found small footprints up there that we didn't find accompanying adult footprints. And this was in the snow in the middle of like winter in the North Georgia mountains.
Yeah.
But we didn't see what made those prints. So we can't for certain say what those prints are. They look like small
barefoot, not bear, but bear.
Bear. What was the symbol for bear again?
Bear.
Okay. So
bear.
So it has it. What is this?
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Just the chat's going crazy tonight. Anyway, so they so I don't know, man. I don't know what it could have been. I don't know what it could have been. It appeared to be something small moving from tree to tree in an area that has legends of small things living up there. And we have found small footprints that we don't know what caused them. So
Kim Drescher says, you see most people wouldn't be out there moving around and then panning behind them. But that's kind of what Scott Carpenter did. That's where we got the idea to do this panning thing. Joe started doing. He started just panning behind him.
It doesn't work doing a full-fledged camera behind us all the time
because we move too much and we're onto rough land.
Yeah, it's Scott Carpenter would usually go through like and you've seen his videos. He's usually on like walking trails up through there that are pretty level and they're cleared out. We're usually on game trails and all that. So every time we've tried it, we've ended up with just hours of just unusable garbage footage. And it was getting to the point where we were never going to review it. And I'm just like, why even bother at this point? We'll just occasionally scan behind us with the camera and see whatever we'll get. So,
oh, this is an interesting idea. Instead of the backpack thing, this heifer here says maybe it had a young one on its back.
Well, how big's the young one? Because that didn't appear to be very large.
It didn't appear. Well, you got biases against the size of this unknown thing.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I don't know.
I mean,
I just don't know.
You know what? I'd love if it's a koala. I want it to be a koala.
Well, somebody else had said maybe monkeys escaped up there, and I'm going.
It was winter, so
it was a winter, and I don't know whether a monkey could survive because it was below freezing for most of that week up there. What are you laughing at?
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
Jay Myers.
We do pan around a lot. It's just that, and damn it.
Susan Christman says swamp gas apparently causes a lot of phenomena.
Yeah. Kim had said that if we could pan around a bit, the chat's moving so fast I can't even like click on a comment here. Cool if you guys could just pan around from time to time when you're moving. We do that a lot.
I think we ought to start doing it a little more.
Yeah, but even then, the only reason we included that is because we were leaving out of that area. That's the only reason that clip ever made it onto YouTube, because that was like the end of the video and we were leaving out. So,
you know, I do have raw footage from that outing. We'll have to sit down and like go through it closer. You know what we ought to do? Speaking of Central Florida Bigfoot, Matt from Central Florida Bigfoot, he's a professional photographer, and he came up with a really cool method for reviewing video to see if something is moving in the background. Invert the footage. That's what it's called on Adobe Premiere Pro, but it's like doing it negative. Like take the colors and invert them and make them negative. Yeah. And then anything that moves in the background will really stand out when you invert the colors. So maybe I can invert that whole pretty much segment and
see what jumps out at you.
See what jumps out at me. It's not a bad idea.
Not a bad idea. I'm having a chat is not cooperating with me. So, what do we got?
Ricky Egan said, did you say planes are flying low over that area? Not that low.
Yeah, not below the level of the trees.
It's in a flight path, but it's not like a... Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
What is that noise outside?
I have no clue. Probably the storm's going to start back up again.
Okay.
We're probably going to end up losing power and have to come back on. So, Russell Gibson, thank you for that. $10. Thank you for that very much. We've got some stuff kind of lined up that we're doing. We were out this weekend back in that area where we had reports of that thing laughing at those people in the woods, where they have seen boogers, and the witness is very careful to differentiate Sasquatch from boogers. Yeah. So we were down there. We went down. We have a ton of stuff to review because in
terms of video and audio,
we ran like audio recorders like you would not believe. We went around and these are small digital audio recorders, and we went around the area that we were in and placed these and let them run around, because the idea is that if something kind of creeps up on us and makes a noise, if we have these kind of positions in a circular area around us, we'll pick something up. We ran those. We actually have a Zoom H1N that we just run just as a stationary, more sensitive recorder. When we were down there the first time, we were hearing stuff, and people that wore headphones were able to hear it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that clear. So now whenever we're down there, we're trying to run this if we're stationary.
So this is basically our baseline recorder, the H1N. Yeah. We set that up first. That's the first thing we set up when we get out of the vehicle, because we've got a lot of stuff we've got to set up. We actually got to use our parabolic mic setup, which we rarely use because it is a bit cumbersome. But for this particular area, this is what we're going to call the Laughing Beast area. If you've seen that video that we put out before, as soon as we got down to that area, we started hearing this like howling, whooping, yelling off into the forest. So we went down there and we brought all of our audio equipment this time, including the parabolic dish and microphone. We have that hooked up to a Zoom H4n Pro, which is a really, really, really amazing multi-track recorder. But we had that hooked up. But first thing we do is set up that H1n Pro. That way we get out of the car and we always have something going. Joe and I have a phrase that we use a lot. Always be recording. ABR, ABR, ABR. Always be recording. So it's important that we always have something going, because we had that one incident very early on where we stopped to cook hot dogs and we missed what sounded like a woods banshee howling, like screaming in the woods.
I've got to actually play a clip to you, because I got sent a clip earlier, and the person who sent it to me was going, "This is not a siren," because we originally thought, like, we were going, "What is?"
At first, we thought it was a siren.
Like a siren up there? There's no roads up where we're at. But we had that crappy little Amazon warehouse like camcorder, and with crappy batteries, and we were charging the batteries while we were like cooking something to eat when that happened. We just sat there and looked at each other. And then we're scrambling to get a battery into it, and then it's just gone by the time we get in there. So the idea is that I'm going to use this Zoom. I've tried to push it off my backpack a bit with some extenders. But even then, all it's picking up is the sound of like the fabric of the backpack, us moving. So this is something I even thought about trying to get it up, kind of extend it up past my shoulder on something sticking out of my backpack. We're still working on how to use this mobile, because a lot of times the GoPros that we use, even with the media mods, they don't pick up everything we hear. So the idea is to try to rig this up with some external power, and for me to find optimal placement where we can actually pick up stuff around us and not just us moving at that point. So.
But we went really heavy on audio equipment
on
this outing, and we filmed it. So I do have the footage. I might release that footage just so you guys can see what we did for that. But that was the Laughing Beast area. That area has gotten creepier.
Yeah, that area is creepy. That area is very creepy.
It's very desolate. To get down there, we have to go through the roads are all closed to get there, so we have to move a barricade. We have to move a barricade out of the way, and then we put it back into place. That way, nobody knows that we're really down there. Because the roads to get down there are closed.
Technically, it's not breaking the law, because there's no trespassing.
There's no do not enter.
There's no do not enter into this. So.
Stay out. No, there's none of that. It's just that the road is closed because there's a couple of bridges and stuff out. So we had to move that barricade and move the signage and stuff, but we put it back. That way nobody comes in behind us.
Leave no trace behind. So, yeah.
But yeah, so we went out there and it's just desolate. It's been abandoned and nobody's really gone back there for a long time. We saw two beautiful, huge turkeys cross the road right in front of us. So there's plenty of wildlife down there. A very handsome box turtle as well.
We did not see Bigfoot, however.
Did not see Bigfoot.
Or boogers or the laughing beast.
Nope.
So we did not see any of that. So Cajun asks what we use for rechargeables. These digital recorders have built-in batteries. Could you kill that comment for me?
Yes, sir.
So they have internal batteries. We use Sony recorders for like when we're interviewing witnesses, but these are like a Vista brand. They're metal branded. They're very, very durable. The sound quality is comparable to a Sony, but they're just a lot more durable than a plastic bodied one. But we use these. And then if we are going to leave them out for a long period of time, I take like a little battery bank and hook it up to them, and we'll run it a little bit longer. Eventually, when the recorder gets up to full charge, the override and the battery bank will cut out. So you can't basically drain the battery bank for it, but it'll give it a little bit longer. And we're using one of these for a long duration recorder that we're fine tuning right now. We had to kind of go back to the drawing board with a little bit of stuff like that, because some of the field tests we were doing, it was the audio was not going to be usable, or if it was usable, there was just going to be so much just noise in it that it wasn't going to be definitive of anything. So we're doing some audio experiments right now to try to because a lot of what's getting reported to us are strange screams, strange howls, and everything like that.
Got it. And we just want so bad to get really high quality audio. That's why we get these Zoom recorders. That's why we get these high quality audio recorders and keep them running. Because if we can get that high quality audio, that's just another piece of evidence that kind of moves the needle a little bit, hopefully.
South Force 10 said, be careful, laughing equals hitchhiker. That's what he's always heard. Bad juju. The witness, South Force, I don't know if you've heard the episode we talked about this. We had a witness contact us and told us about this area and said that she and her husband were there, and he's been going there his entire life. they're a little, I don't know how old they are. They're obviously not kids now, but she takes them back in there occasionally, and they've heard knocking, screams, howls, everything like that. One night they were there and they heard something laughing, kind of busting towards the brush through them. And we have not heard that yet. We did hear some howl types things, just that kind of like the sound rose and it fell, rose and it fell. So we have not heard the laughing yet, but we're trying to be geared up so in case it happens.
I got to be honest, I'm kind of nervous if we ever hear the laughing thing.
Yeah, that's a bit much.
That's pretty terrifying.
So that's a bit much for us.
Although we keep going down there, but
yeah, Marcus Aurelius, thank you, Marcus. Check your email, by the way. We emailed you back. Very sorry to hear about Scott Carpenter passing this morning. He'll be sorely missed in the community. Yeah, and again, I saw on social media so many people were going, this was my connection to Scott Carpenter, and this is, these memories I have with him. And like I said, we were looking forward to being able to talk to him really for the first time at the upcoming Wildman conference.
Yeah.
And that just so that was like a double punch that just to kind of go, and I didn't even realize that at first. I'm going, God, this sucks, seriously? And I was trying to confirm it. And then later on I went, wait, we're not going to have a chance to talk to him now. So
yeah.
Anyway, thank you for that, Marcus. So, all right.
We were looking forward to that for the Wildman conference.
Hey, Josh, how are you doing, sir?
Hi, Josh Turner. What's up, man?
How are you?
We were really looking forward to meeting Scott there. Ron Moorhead is still going to be in attendance. We're going to go. I'll be speaking there. Ron Moorhead will be speaking. Martin Groves will be speaking. That's October 14th and 15th at Montgomery Bell State Park.
Do any of the night vision cameras have rangefinders? Now we've got a couple of our thermals have, they've got the laser rangefinder models, which we've never really messed with, just because when we're out, we're not really dealing with really long distances. I mean, we're in the Southern Appalachians. So when we're in the mountains, we're in usually pretty heavy tree cover at that point. We don't really deal with very long distances. The pulsar that we use has a base magnification of 3.5. We usually end up using our AGM, which has a base magnification of 1.5, because we're not looking that far away when we're using it, because the trees and the foliage kind of cuts down your line of sight.
Especially in the summer, the foliage is so thick in these woods that you're not going to be able to see far anyway.
Yeah.
So you really just kind of need that to see if there's anything in the approximate area.
Hey, thank you, Josh. We appreciate that, sir. Thank you very much. That will go in towards more crazy equipment. Thank you. Thank you. So, Richard Cox, could this laughing sound be that of the hyena type dogman? We have no clue. The witness.
We're still pretty early on this case now.
She says that her husband makes a clear distinction between Bigfoot and what he calls boogers down there. He also had some other interesting things that he said, hey, there's these things called fetches down there, and that's getting into European folklore a bit. But I don't know. They just heard it and never saw it, and we haven't even heard it yet. So we're equal parts hoping and dreading.
It seems like our witness had to go down there a few times before that incident occurred. They had gone down there several times before they even heard the noises. And then they started hearing the vocalizations coming from the woods. And then eventually it progressed to this laughing beast or whatever this was, coming through the woods at them, and then eventually slapping the side of her truck when they were trying to get out of the area. So I don't know. Joe and I talk about this all the time, that we have to go into these areas over and over and over. And then it seems like whatever is there starts to get used to you and maybe starts to show itself to you a little more each time.
Let's hit this first. Thank you, Sean Hawk. Would you guys investigate the Outer Banks area when we go to the Outer Banks?
Probably not for a while. It's quite a drive.
It's a drive, but if you've got something crazy going on,
crazy, let us know and we'll
hit us up.
There's a haunted inn there that somebody asked us to come and check out that they own. So we would be interested in maybe rolling everything together. That'd be kind of cool.
So let's you were talking about how you see these things. What did you say? I got sidetracked when I put that comment up.
You don't listen to a word.
I don't listen to a word you say. What did you say? So
the more we go to these areas, we kind of not habituate it, but it seems
more
like
it shows up.
The more it shows up, I guess it gets used.
So one of the things I was talking about, to somebody earlier today, was the fact that you have these people, and it's in almost every paranormal subfield that there is. Hauntings, Bigfoot, UFOs. Some people spend their whole lives out there looking and never find anything, right? And then other people just seem to have continual, repeated contact, experience, sightings, and everything.
All through their life.
All through their lives. And one of the things is that we've ran into some crazy stuff, right? But we always chalk that up to the fact that we're out there a lot.
Yeah.
You know, we're out there every week. And then when stuff does happen, we have the equipment to catch it sometimes. Sometimes we don't catch it. Other people seem like they're magnets for this stuff.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that I always draw these parallels between like the UAP disclosure and like the other weird stuff that's going around. Weird stuff in the sky, weird stuff on the ground. One of the things that I was thinking about today is that, you know, our boy Gary Nolan is doing, I know you laugh every time I bring up.
I love Gary Nolan.
I love Gary Nolan too. He's awesome.
I like how exasperated he is with everything and everyone.
He's doing studies on people that have had UAP encounters in the military.
Yeah.
And the
physical effects.
Well, the physical effects, but more importantly, a lot of them have in the caudate of their brains, they have an overconnection, basically. Okay, in the ganglia.
I remember this.
They have and he at first thought it was some sort of damage that had occurred because of the UAPs, but instead it ended up being something that pre-existed because some of them had MRIs that had been taken before their encounters and the exact same overconnection was there. And he's kind of dancing around the fact going, why is it that these people, which statistically are extremely rare, why do these people with this overconnection in the caudate, why are they having more UAP encounters than like just you would expect from an average cross section of people? Is it because they are attracting it somehow? Is it because they are somehow wired differently just to kind of notice it or see it when other people don't? And I started thinking, could that same thing be true for physical cryptid stuff on the ground?
Right.
Because obviously there's a lot of money and there's world-class scientists and all that on the UAP side of it. But most of the legit science like contributions to Bigfoot has mostly been from like either the DNA aspect, zoology, or maybe from an evolutionary aspect. Is it like a primate, you know, a relic hominid running around on them?
But not really looking into this more supernatural side.
Well, not really looking at it to that scientific level that they're doing with UAPs. But that's one of the things I'm kind of going for now is that if we had the ability, would you see a similar anomalous brain makeup from people that have these repeated Bigfoot or Dogman or even like just paranormal encounters? Are they just wired different? Is there like a weird circuitry, like a biological circuitry thing that's going on?
Just something that you're already born with, something that you're predisposed
and if they
to have this kind of encounter. And
if they do, why? Is it because they are noticing things that other people don't notice, or are they attracting things that other people don't?
Could be something left over through evolution, something that you've acquired, you know, because you have a lot of people who have familial ties where their grandmother used to see things or experience things. That it's all just been kind of like a family thing that's gone on through the years, and that it's commonplace. Like it's commonplace in my family for a lot of people to kind of connect with that other. So, you know, maybe it's something genetic, maybe it's something hereditary.
It's something that I thought of today, and I'm just going, well, you know, they're just now starting to look at that on the UAP aspect of it. So I'm just going, there's obviously no one looking at it for the physical cryptid side of it right now. You know, this field doesn't have the acceptance that the UAP topic is getting right now.
Yeah, not yet.
We keep saying maybe 5 years from now, wouldn't that be awesome? But sorry, I'm getting sidetracked with. Wish you would do studies on soldiers who've had encounters with cougars and dark bars. So, but anyway, that was something that I thought of today. That I'm going, maybe there's some sort of circuitry, biological circuitry thing that's going on here. That maybe the people that are having these encounters all the time, and that's one of the things that always comes up is people go, I don't believe you. You're saying that you keep having these Sasquatch encounters or these Dogman encounters. I'm out there all the time. I've never had anything happen. Well, maybe you're just wired different, man. You know, maybe you don't have, maybe it's a biological or a genetic setup that makes you more predisposed to having these encounters. And
you can see how some of these people who have these encounters are just driven to madness.
Oh,
because
nobody believes them.
Happening.
Nobody
believes them what's going on. It's like paranormal gaslighting.
Marcus Aurelius. Thank you again, Marcus. Marcus coming in hot, man. Thank you for that. It's possible that certain receptive personalities bring in more encounters by their personal makeup via their energy. So another little weird thing I want to throw up here is, could it be receptive personalities? Or there's that trope that, and I just spaced on his name, Chris Noel, Bigfoot researcher from up north, had talked about how Sasquatch kind of exhibit almost autistic kind of behaviors in a certain way, rock stacking, all this other stuff. Wrote a whole book on it, right?
Yeah.
And I was talking about the fact that I'm going, well, you know, that autism people, you know, adults who display autistic characteristics, they also have an odd makeup to the caudate, like these UAP survivors do. So then I'm going, because I've always just kind of like poo-pooed that idea. There was a Bigfoot researcher that had mentioned that to me today, that I don't know if he wants his name mentioned online or not, but I kind of went, yeah, you know, and that kind of ties in with the UAP stuff. So, all right, our resident science advisor, what is this? Unless they're wondering all the unknown. If you're open to seeing profundity, you're apt to. Very good. Paul M., you should try a 2-night investigation. First night roaming and active to get your scent out. Second night stationary and campsite normal. We have done that before, and we have never had good luck setting up stationary.
Yeah.
And I wish we did, because it would be
a lot easier.
Oh, got to be so much easier just to set up stationary and just have our stuff there. And we've tried everything about having all the equipment out or not having the equipment out and acting normal. And we have very, very rarely fooled anything into coming in. And I wish we could, because again, that would be so much easier.
You know, I think it's worth a try though, for us to give it a go again.
Yeah.
You know, we do have an area that would be ideal for that. In the dark corner. That would be perfect for that. That we could do that kind of experiment where we could really kind of go around, get our scent out there, and then do a stationary.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Sheila Ebeling, patron saint of Hellbenders. I think it's something, not nothing. I think it's living. Be a primate more so than a bear because of the ease of moving tree to tree and how it rode the tree down.
Yeah.
The other thing too is that people have also gone, it's fake, because you guys would have heard something. You would think we would have heard something. Whatever it is does not make any damn noise at all.
Or at least we would have heard like the cracking of the tree as it bent, because it was a younger sapling, as you can tell by the diameter of it. Now, we actually went back to the area after somebody pointed that out to us, that this thing going through the trees like that. Somebody pointed it out to us. We went back up to the area, and I found the trees, went up into that area. There's a cluster of these like younger trees. They're only about like this big in diameter. But we went and checked that out. I filmed all that. I was checking it out. I'm looking at all the trees. I can take one and kind of press it, and it sways just a little bit. But as you know, it gets, you know, thinner and thinner as you get higher. So it'll kind of bend some more. But there's nothing on the ground. We didn't find anything at the base of the trees. We looked. I took my flashlight. I dug through the pine needles and everything. We didn't find anything. Nothing dropped. Nothing was there. So, but we did go back to the area and check out these trees. And we did find the cluster of trees that this thing was kind of coming through.
They're talking now about Chris Noel, and keep in mind, Jessi was never a Bigfoot person per se. She was more into the paranormal. So she's not as well versed on the trivia of the Bigfoot world. But Chris Noel, well, actually, that was the comment I was going to get to in a second, but we'll get to it now. On that note, could Sasquatch tell who are in the woods and tell difference between researchers and hunters? That's why people all have different experiences. Well, at that point, you're basically outside of the realm of a undiscovered North American ape.
Yeah, we're back to not an ape.
Not an ape, but they're talking about Chris Noel was known for a couple of things. He did the book on and I don't remember what it's called, the autistic Bigfoot, basically, where he posited that a lot of Sasquatch basically exhibited traits that in humans would be considered autism. Then he posted a video it's been so long, I can't even remember what the video was like. Posted a video of a baby porcupine climbing a tree. He said it was a baby Sasquatch. It was ridiculous. He posted a video of something climbing a tree that I remember him saying it was Sasquatch related. I don't remember the baby Sasquatch, but that makes sense.
Okay.
That makes sense. But everybody looked at it and everybody was just going, no, it's a porcupine. So very similar to what we had in
Am
the
I
trees.
Chris Noelling right
You're
now?
basic Chris Noelling, I guess. Is
I
what
like
I'm
there's
getting
a leaf and everybody's like, oh, this poor girl.
Yeah, so it's
oh, this poor girl
but
looking
here's
at
the
this
deal
leaf.
is that he didn't, from what I remember, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, he flat out said, here's a baby Bigfoot climbing.
Oh, okay.
He didn't go, hey guys, check this out. What do I have?
I have never speculated on what I think it is because I don't know what it is because I go back and forth. I'm going to throw in my hat in the ring that it's not a leaf, just because of how far away it is and then the bending of the tree. But I don't know what it is. Could be a turkey, could be an owl, could be some inhumanoid that we don't even know what the heck it is. Cherokee little people. That's what we could be dealing with. I don't know.
And again, that the idea of that sounds so crazy, but in certain parts of these mountains, little people are taken as just a fact of life.
Yeah, and you don't talk about
you don't talk about them, and it's just in a way they worry people more than the possibility of Sasquatch. Alan Lassiter asked, have you done any investigation near the Table Rock area?
There was a gentleman that went missing in that area, and nobody has any clue what happened to him. We've hiked Table Rock area a couple of times.
It's like the ground just opened up.
Yeah, there's a granite boulder field out there. So if you're familiar with David Paulides' Missing 411, the commonalities between some of these cases, it seems like granite boulder fields are in there. So there is a huge granite boulder field on that trail up on the Table Rock Trail. But what's crazy about that trail, Joe and I've done it a couple of times, is there's really nowhere to go but the trail.
Yeah.
You're not going to fall off of anything. There's no like spurs really. It's you take the trail up, you go up there, and then you take the trail down. And they looked at the base of the rock and everything. They looked everywhere for this guy. It's like the ground opened up and swallowed him, or he just vanished completely. You ever think about with these, there's a possibility that of a Thunderbird? Because I know we kind of went into a weird Thunderbird discussion one time because we were talking about somebody, the possibility that these giant birds still exist. Do you think that they could just snatch somebody up like a squirrel?
Honestly, and again, I don't know. I hate to say that anything's impossible now at this point. To me, the idea of a giant, just flesh and blood bird that's that big, I don't know though, man. I mean, maybe. I mean, it's possible. I mean, that to me seems like one of the more easier to prove type things. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not moving as fast as like a UAP. I mean, it's just a bird. It's a big bird.
Yeah.
You know?
And then if you see the bird and you're like, wow, that's a really big bird. And you're like, maybe my perspective's messed up.
Yeah. So, but it seems like maybe like small planes. Cause I mean, we were out this weekend and trying to run this audio equipment, and there's small planes everywhere over the Southeast. Just constantly crisscrossing the national forests out there. So it seems like they would see one and then possibly be able to get footage of it. But at the same token, I just sat here and went, hey, man, we're in an area where the little people are known to be at. And 10 years ago, I would have like laughed at myself. And now I'm just kind of going, I'm not going to dismiss that out of hand. So I'm not going to dismiss the Thunderbird thing out. So
I'm curious of what validity to the story that when they were building Western Carolina University, that they found all these tunnels and these possible areas that the little people inhabited, and that one of the professors at Western Carolina University actually had a couple of small adult skulls on his desk for years. There's a story going around that he actually had a couple of these little
They
skulls.
found all the tunnels when they were doing
They found all these tunnels when they were doing renovations and they were building new buildings. So Mary Joyce talks about that a lot. Mary Joyce. She's located in Sylvan now, but she talks about Cashiers a lot. But
people are talking about how could I think that a big bird couldn't exist? If it does exist, I don't think it exists as a terrestrial undiscovered species. Maybe it's something, we always use that term, something from somewhere else that just kind of comes here for a while, then goes elsewhere. Maybe in another dimension, there's a very large bird, or maybe it's normal size for that dimension, you know? And then it somehow crosses over, flies through the sky, maybe picks up a goat or something like that, has a little munch, gets back in the sky, flies, and then goes to whence it came.
Or it's a pterodactyl going through a time rift.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just, anyway, I don't know. So, Paul M. talks about how eagles have been filmed grabbing mountain goats. Yeah, but the Thunderbirds are usually like big, man.
Martin
big,
said
big.
that Barton has seen Thunderbirds.
He has, yeah. He's seen Marcus Aurelius, the accidental capture of what I believe is a young Bigfoot in the trees is perhaps one of the most significant moments of evidence for unknown cryptid on video.
Well, there you go.
There you go. See,
or it could be just a delusional woman looking at a leaf. We don't know.
I just still go to the fact that we've found small footprints up in that area.
There's a lot of supporting evidence.
We've never found
something
big footprints in the area. And if there's juvenile Sasquatch up there, where are the adults at? You know? So, you know, are they latchkey kids? Are they just dropped off in that patch of the woods while the parents go and do stuff? So, and there we go. So,
meandering around with Johnny Jans. Love that name, by the way. Love it. Are you two attending the PRT Dogman conference in Texas? We are not. We've got a lot of crap we're doing here.
Yeah. There's a small chance, you know what I'm saying? So I would never say never.
Chance, but
it's a haul for us.
Yeah, that is a very long distance.
Other side of the country. It's going to be an awesome lineup though. So.
And we don't fly.
We can't fly with like all of our stuff. So we have to, everywhere we go to, we have to drive.
Yeah, we don't fly.
But I mean, Barton's going to be there. Martin Groves. Somebody else was there that our buddy Aaron Dees is going to be there. Texas Dogman Triangle. Cool. Yeah. So it's going to be Lau Blackburn's going to be there. So it's going to be off the hook.
Yeah,
so,
I think the next conference we're going to.
Of course, we're going to say that. Then you're going to see two people, one chick with blue hair, one tall gray-haired guy with those Groucho Marx glasses on, with the nose and the mustache there. Hey, aren't you guys Hellbent Holler? No. We are
Melbent Mahler.
We're Heckbent Valley. Yeah. So
Heckbent Valley.
Heckbent Valley. So yeah.
That's the youth division. I think the next thing we're actually going to is that Tennessee Wildman and Dogman.
Yeah.
Or not Dogman. Tennessee Wildman and Crypticon in October.
James Barker. Thank you for the $5, sir. We appreciate that. He wants knife check 30. I'll be damned. It's like 8:30 right now too. So well timed, sir. We were doing daggers today, man. I had a dagger on my belt.
It's dagger night, kids.
It's dagger night, kids.
What do you have, Joe?
I have an old Smith & Wesson boot knife, which you can get like super cheap off Amazon and stuff like that. This is the XL version that they released for like a few months, and nobody bought one except for me because it's so comically oversized. And
what kind of boot are you wearing?
Big boots, man.
It's a big boot, boy.
It's a big boot, boy.
So I have a knife. You gave me this.
Yes.
Before we started dating?
Gave you that as we started dating.
As we started dating.
That was my intentions knife to let you know what my intentions were. So
his intentions. That's what you do when you like a girl. You're like, here's a knife. Yep. So here's my intentions. Which is very cute. Thank you. So this is a Linder dagger. It's got a pearlized handle. And it is got a mirror finish on that blade there, but it's got a pearlized handle. So we are dagger knighting.
We're all daggered up.
Yeah, we're dagged up. But yeah. This is Solingen steel, isn't it?
Solingen steel. Yep.
Solingen steel. Yeah. But it's a good one.
All right, here we go. Off the cuffs. $5 super sticker. Thank you for that. Off the cuff links. We appreciate it. And actually, somebody had asked earlier, I think it was Lady Wolf, had asked, do y'all have an Amazon wish list, PayPal, Zelle? YouTube does take a cut. We're bad about the monetization of this part of it. So we're good about the weird stuff. We're good about babbling about weird stuff. We're good about trying weird stuff and running around with weird equipment. We're bad about where's the camera out? We're bad about the, hey, here's our stuff, buy it, or hey, if you like us, give us money. We're real bad about that end. We don't have an Amazon wish list. I do have a PayPal. It's paypal.me/Hellbent Holler. But keep in mind, like, we work for like a living. This is like, that's also why we're pressed for, well, one of us works for a living. So, you know, the other one's a professional YouTube celebrity there. Yes. So, but we, what we do is that anything we make off the channel goes back into the channel. Yep. We tried to be very tech heavy with stuff. We try to, which is cool because that way we're able to capture stuff sometimes. Capture evidence, not like actual creatures in cages, although that would be right. The next progression of this channel. Us putting little cages out everywhere to see if we can like capture stuff. But we do not. We've got the PayPal, but we don't really have an Amazon wish list. I don't know. I guess we could do something like that. I'd feel weird doing that, wouldn't you? You know? What, an Amazon wish list? Yeah.
What if
I'd feel weird
what
because
if it was just weird stuff like
it's
exotic soup spoons and stuff?
All the stuff that we need right now to fill in the gaps is pricey stuff, and I would hate to put that up there and go, hey, somebody buy me this, you know.
I always think about when like people have Amazon wish lists that they are getting like, because I guess I cruising like Instagram. It's like chicks with like lingerie and stuff. We can get you some lingerie on the wish list.
There we go, man.
That's what we'll get.
Have like bread boxes. And
but we
like
do have a PayPal. It's paypal.me/hellbendholler. So that is our PayPal, and it'll come up as Jessi Doyle is the name.
And let me again
or
preface
Jessica
this,
Doyle.
because every time we talk about this stuff, I'm on channels sometimes cruising around, and I'll see people go, "Here's $50. This leaves me $20 to last until the end of the month." And I'm just going, oh my God, return that person's like $50 to them like right now if they're that.
Yeah,
you know,
don't do that.
Don't anybody ever put yourself out, because we ain't starving. So we'll get to where we need to be at equipment wise, with help, without help, whatever like that. If anybody ever wants to contribute, that's great. We appreciate it, but we ain't asking. Not riding on our good looks. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. So.
Speaking of which,
what kind of digital recorders do we use? Linda, we use a Zoom. We have an H4n Pro. I'd show you that, but that's what we're running the microphones off of right now, because all of our studio equipment is repurposed stuff that we use in the field, the camera, except for the microphones. Although I almost took one of these out to hook it up to the long duration recorder, but I didn't want to bust it. And then all of a sudden we're here doing the live stream next week, sharing one microphone.
Sharing a mic.
We use that, and I use that for the parabolic setup that we have. We run a omnidirectional microphone to the parabolic. We have it all hooked up to a backup power source. We use this Zoom that we showed earlier. That is the one that I'm trying to get set up to my backpack right now. It runs off external power, so I'm not dependent upon the backup, just like the regular AAAs that it runs off of. And then we probably have, I don't even know how many small recorders that we use as drop recorders. Mm-hmm. And what will happen is that when we were out this weekend, we set them up in a pattern around us just to see if we could catch anything. The insect sound was so high.
Insects, not me.
Real insects, although we're set up with the total segue here. We're set up with the parabolic recorder, and it's like, we're not getting anything at all. It's just, I'm going, gosh, I just don't feel it tonight here. And last time we were here, it was so scary. Tonight, it's still tense feeling, but I just don't feel that there's anything around us right now. Jesse's like, do you want me to do a call? And we always like kind of bust on people that are out there howling at the moon and beating on like trees with sticks. And I go, yeah, knock yourself out. What are you going to do? You're going to do a howl? And she goes, I'm going to do a cicada call. So she did the cicada call. Needless to say, we did not have any results from the cicada call. But we use these. What we'll use these for is these little self-contained, pretty decent, very durable digital recorders, is that when we're moving through the woods at night, and if there is, say we're in an area, we hear something, or we think we're being watched or something like that, and then it just goes quiet, we'll take one of these and we'll vary the approach. Sometimes I leave it out in plain open with the red light flashing. Sometimes we hide the red light, turn the red light off, which is the record light, put it under some leaves and leave it there, collect it later on. And one of these is what we were using when we caught that weird,
the crazy noises.
The crazy noises around that tree.
That
clicking, the faux speech, the growling, the whole 9 yards. But this is what we use. We're really, really
I've got to interrupt you, Joe.
What's that?
Lady Wolf. I don't care what you spend it on. I'm not one of those people.
Hey,
$100. Thank you, Lady Wolf.
Thank you, Lady Wolf.
That is beyond cool. Thank you so much.
Actually, I'm going to spend that on an upgraded spectrum analyzer because that's where we're going to next. So, hey, thank you, Lady Wolf. We appreciate that.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that's awesome.
Somebody else.
Yeah, we've got a couple more on here. Marcus Aurelius.
Somebody got their tax returns back or something, man. Paranormal experiences while working in New Orleans. Jessi did.
I did. I had several. They were varied.
Very, just nothing major, but just like little like hunt. Wow, pretty major. Okay.
I saw like shadow figures in tikis all the time because I did graveyard tikis. Yeah. And then I lived in a house called a Masonette. which was, so in the French Quarter, you've got, these giant houses. There's a 3-story house on Conti Street.
We're going to keep answering this question. I'm going to put Lady Wolf back up there.
Yeah. There in the French Quarter, you have like these giant houses on the street. So on Conti Street, there's this big house that's 3 stories tall. There's an alleyway beside it. So you go down the alleyway, and then my house was in the back. It was a standalone little 2-story, like little house, and it's called a maisonette. And it used to be, I guess, a stable at one time because you have the slave quarters near it. But then there's like, my house was a stable. That thing was haunted as. But I had all kinds of crazy experiences in there. I would see people in the house that weren't there. I had the most insane dreams. One time I woke up in the middle of the night and I opened my bedroom door, and it was upstairs, and there's like a landing in front of my bedroom. And like wooden floors and everything. I opened the bedroom door, and there was a black horse standing in the hallway. And I slammed the door and went back to bed. So it could be a dream, but it was pretty freaking real. And the house had a weird smell to it the next morning.
Like what sort of smell?
It was like a really weird, nasty, weird smell. But that house was built in 1800 around 1800. And it actually, or probably before that, because there was a couple of major fires in the French Quarter, and that house actually survived both of the fires. So it's one of the older homes in New Orleans. So
I never really did, but I'm not really open to that stuff. That's why when I saw that lady in the OBL that night, it flipped me out so bad, because I don't have a lot of depth, and I'm not a very spiritual person. I'm pretty shallow, kind of a dullard. So I don't really have stuff like that happen. So when that happened to me at the LBL, that was a very, I don't want to say life altering, because that's a little overly dramatic, but it affected me a great deal. Off the Cufflinks had a great comment. I contributed to your cause as I see the honesty and passion in the message you carry. An honor and a privilege to be a part of these two open-minded, courageous, and caring people's paranormal patrol.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you. Wow, that's awesome. Thank you.
Darcy Parks, $50. Thank you so much. Damn, people, what's going on?
What's going on? So, heck.
Homeless Ryan, who's no longer a homeless person, is $9.99 as
Thank
well. Thank you, Ryan.
You guys better watch out. It's all going to go to our heads. We'll be back next week. I'll have like a fur coat on, like pinky rings.
Hey, you get a fur coat, we'll put you up in a tree. We'll do some more videos.
There we go. That just looks like Joe in a $5,000 mink coat.
You'll see like the glimmer of like your gold jewelry and your rings and stuff. And
I'll be like one of those like televangelists that would go, it should be Joe in a $10,000 fur coat, but unfortunately.
Just pat the sweat off your face.
Yeah. So, hey, thank you for that.
You're on camera breaking lobsters open and just eating lobsters, wiping it on your mink coat.
We're going to go meet David Pilates at the Polo Club later on today. So,
who did you say that to the other day?
I don't know. I told somebody, I think it was Kyle from Cryptid Connections.
You were on the phone with somebody.
I was doing something, and I was on his live stream, and he said thought he had accidentally banned me. And I went, you can't ban me. I'm a minor regional Dogman celebrity. You can't ban me. I'm unbannable.
Don't you know who I am?
And everybody laughed at minor regional. And I was like, all right, ta-ta, I'm off. I'm going to go meet David Pilates at the Polo Club now. So anyway, Stingray is out of Orb Denier camp, whatever you want to call it. So he's joining us tonight. Thanks, Stingray.
Oh, my gosh. Richard Cox says we got enough money for Starbucks now. It's too much sugar.
Too much sugar.
I've been working out. I can't have all this sugar.
Alan Lasser, y'all need an equipment carrier. That is one of the things that is we are going to do a Hellbent Holler FAQ episode one time. And it's just always people mean well, and they're like, you should carry this, you should do this. And I'm like, I would love to do something like that or carry that or use that equipment. But there's just two people with the backpacks that we have. And especially in the summertime, we are weighted down with what? Water like filters. We have batteries, everything like that. So it's very heavy. But if we just had like one of those like robot dog Boston Dynamic like equipment carriers to follow us around, that would be awesome.
Chris is a Chris because you're fessing up to the tree stump. We haven't gotten the fur coat yet.
I know, man. So
now we're gonna do a stunt.
Our boy Drew at 1135 Decatur. What's up? Yeah, that was something that somebody said that we had put somebody in the trees to do that. And I'm going,
how?
I'm open to the leaf idea, and I'm not open to the monkey idea. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm open to the little people idea. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
I'm even open somewhat to
trying
the
juvenile. See what check boxes go in what columns.
I'm open to the juvenile Sasquatch idea.
Okay.
But I'm not open to a a parkour midget that is just following
They're
us
little
silently.
people. You can't see them.
It just, I'm not open to that. So, and there we go. So
Parkour. Yeah. Yeah. Or that we strung somebody up there
Mhm.
and then did that. We didn't even see it in the
Yeah.
video. Somebody had to point it out to us. Listen, if I'm going to go through the trouble to string somebody up in a tree, believe me, there's going to be a shot better than what we got.
Exactly. So
there's going to be a way better shot than what we got. Marcus Aurelius says, okay, now I'm homeless. Kidding. Dullards rock.
Can't pay rent this month. Hellbend Holler had a really good show. So again, we appreciate that, Marcus. Thank you very much.
Have you seen the price of king crab?
Rare Robert wants to know, I know somebody's accusing you of being a witch. Can you clarify this for
them? Ooh.
I will clarify it for them. Jessi grew up in the mountains of Western North Carolina, and in her family, her grandmother, is it your great aunt or your great aunt or
great aunt? No,
one of those
aunt,
were famous, like mountain, like whether you want to call them wise women, they call them granny witches up there, and they do things like deliver kids or set broken bones or do, I guess you would call it faith healing almost, but a lot of herbalism and stuff like that goes on. And there's still people that practice that stuff in the mountains today. So if that means that you are a witch,
I do some ritual magic. I don't know. Why are we throwing labels around like that?
Yeah, but as far as like wart on the nose, worshiping Satan type stuff, nah, man, we're the whole devil worship thing. Those were who we were kind of running up against in the mountains of North Georgia. We ain't involved in nothing like that. Yeah. So in nothing. I would be interesting to see who's calling you a witch, but honestly, same token, I don't really care.
Who's calling me a witch?
I don't care. So
just pointing at me, witch.
Tree pimp. Anyway, so
did you see Dead End Yard Hunts throwing the donkey fund?
99 for the donkey fund. I saw the tree pimp. Thank you, Dead End Yard Hunt. One of these weeks, we're going to show up with a damn donkey, and we are going to blow everybody's minds, quite honestly. It's going to be the third member of Hellbend Holler. It's going to be awesome.
Simon has something nice here. Walking through the forest in the middle of the night is the last thing on earth I do. Hats off to you guys. You got more guts than me. We're just dumb.
Blick Rito. Do you use a satellite locator in the brush in case of emergency or getting lost? Actually, we do. And believe it or not, we actually have it here with us tonight. We use a Garmin InReach Mini. Jessi carries this on her. This is a GPS unit, a personal locator beacon, and a, what's the other thing I'm looking for?
It messages people.
Satellite messenger. You have like an SOS button that you can hit that will like transmit your location.
Yep.
And because you can do the satellite texts, you can then let them know what's going on. Hey, I was bitten by a snake. Hey, I've been treated by a dogman. Hey, I've fallen down a well.
So if you watch our videos, I bring this out a lot because we have somebody that knows where we are at all times. They follow us on the map because there is a feature on there where it tracks us where we are at all times, and they can just click on the link and they can see where we are on a map. But I send messages back and forth every time we're out in the woods because it's just Joe and I. We don't have any cell service. That's our only lifeline outside of the forest. So we always have that. I'm sending messages constantly that can constantly track us. But if there is an emergency, we can hit the SOS button. And if we need to be life flighted out of somewhere or something like that, that will happen. You do have to have a monthly subscription for all of that service and everything. It's about $15 a month.
We do the $25.
It's $25
splurge, so that way you can do unlimited, basically map check-ins.
Yeah, so that's about $25 a month, but it's worth it if something really catastrophic happens to one of us. And we got to try to, because I can't carry Joe out of the woods.
Yeah, I'm stuck if that happens. But
it's worth it $25 a month because it that peace of mind too. I mentioned David Paulides and missing 411 all the time. There's been no one that's ever been 411 who has one of those on.
Has been armed, not been alone, and has one of these. So we carry this. It's something that we always carry with us. And then I had that out because whenever we're out, whenever we do a investigation, no matter how long it takes, when we get back, we have to do data dumps, recharge, reclean. So I had that. And then we usually use we don't rely on our cell phones for like GPS. You've heard us talk about going into Panther Town that time. And we had 2 basic GPS units that just both went haywire on us. Nowadays, we run a Garmin 64 ST, which is what this is.
Mm-hmm.
I like this because it has mechanical buttons. It doesn't have a touch screen. So we run this. We run the Garmin InReach Mini, and then we have 2 Garmin GPS watches that we run that show our track in. So if nothing else, we can use that to track out if we need to. But we run redundant GPSs now because stuff goes haywire sometimes in some of these areas, man. So stuff goes haywire.
Penny Van says, I know who's calling you a witch based on their accusations on something you said last week as a joke. Somebody on their live streams calling me a witch. Oh, guys. YouTubers.
Funny. All right.
Teresa Wilkins says, witches don't believe in the devil.
So what do we got?
What were we watching the other day? They said, I don't believe in the devil. He believes in you.
I don't know what that was.
Constantine.
Hey, there we go. Marcus Aurelius, like, everybody's coming through tonight, man. We appreciate it, guys. And if it's not too much to ask, on top of all this, hit the like button, man. Just give. It's never enough. It's never enough. It's never enough.
Sugi says those communities would be hurting without their granny witches.
Granny witches, yeah. So it is.
Yeah.
But, you're a tattooed girl with blue hair. You're a little gothy, in case you didn't know that about yourself. I'm just saying. So, but that the greater reach this channel gets, the more talked about we're going to get. You know what I'm saying? So this is just the tip of the iceberg for all that sort of stuff. So.
Robert Randolph asks, have you ever done food gifting for Bigfoot?
Nope.
We
don't do any gifting at all. And people will disagree with that, but you're given offerings to things at that point that at least I don't fully understand. So we don't do any sort of gifting at all. The most we've ever tried to, not even gifting, we've tried to rearrange those weird little piles of quartz that we found. What do you got?
Just go on.
But no, never any gifting, never any food or anything like that. So
he read, who will not wear the
ribbon? So
Joe's not a Seinfeld fan.
I'm not a Seinfeld. No, I remember that. Okay.
Who will not wear the ribbon?
Kim Drescher asked we should consider a sat phone. I would have loved to, but like we mentioned before, we're self-funded, and of course it's kind of hypocritical to say that like that because people are like showering us with like cash tonight. But everything we have, we've like bought ourselves. Until we can get that awesome thermal sponsorship, you know what I'm saying? Or what is it you constantly want, a Harbor Freight sponsorship?
Yeah,
so
I'll take that.
I'll take that. It's constantly going, okay, we need this, and this. What are we going to get right now? And this at least has the ability to act as a GPS. It's got the personal locator beacon and the satellite thing. Actual satellite phone would be awesome, but it just ain't in the budget right now. So
Vic Rieto.
Are you armed with a handgun in the bush or a stun gun? If something's after you to do harm or eat you, do you have a defense or just run? We both go armed.
I carry a Glock 29, which is a compact 10 millimeter handgun. Joe carries a Glock 20 which is the full size 10 millimeter. Our buddy Martin Groves actually gifted us with.
Every time we see him, we get more blessed
bullets
that have been dipped in holy water and blessed by a priest. So that's what
now, if I was a bad witch, would I get a big box of bullets blessed by a priest?
So. Stingray is great. Yeah, and I guess if you're not from the Appalachian area, if you're not from the mountains down here, and you hear the term granny witch, back in the mountains like that, it's like a weird mixture of Christianity, folk magic, some Cherokee lore mixed in, some stuff mostly from like the Scots Irish, but a little bit of like, German folklore and everything like that. That's just kind of like a hodgepodge together with like herbalism. And
I just want to say, Josh Turner says it wasn't him.
so
we'll cross him off the hex list.
But it's, I guess if you don't hear that, if you're not familiar with that term, then you hear it and you just think witch and you're thinking like, well, like demonic stuff, man, and if you've watched any of our stuff in North Georgia, we're openly going, makes us sound crazy to some people. We think that there are people, in addition to the weird stuff that's going up there, there's occult activity taking place up there, and it ain't great. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's what you would call evil. It's evil. So we ain't found anything like that, man. We ran into some areas where you see human occult activity that takes place side by side where you think paranormal or cryptid activity is taking place at. So anyway, but yeah, like I said, it's more of a benign thing in an area where there weren't any doctors, and it was equal parts placebo effect and just old herbal remedies that were passed down. So
Lawrence L.A. Alble says, I don't even go to the bathroom unless I'm armed.
Yep. So
I think you gotta have a toilet gun. You gotta have a toilet gun. Stingray 1975 says, I'd like to see some nail pullers on Knife Check one night. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Oh, I need to do a t-shirt sewing night so that the I'm with Pig Boy shirt can make an appearance on one of these live streams.
Do we have the nail puller over here?
The nail puller I've got one by the back door.
That's right. So we have a nail puller in the car and one by the back door.
Yeah, there's one in the car and there's one by the back door.
I thought we had it in here with the equipment stuff. So thank you for that, Stingray.
Thank you, sir.
Stingray sent us a couple of nail pullers.
We ought to do, like, put some grips on them. Really,
yeah, tell me about
pimp them out.
All right. We got
Rod Matsul says, goth girls are necessary to the community, as are herbalists. Thank you.
I told somebody on here as well when earlier today, I was just like, listen, man, the show's really not about us. It's about usually we top out at about 300 people. Remember, we used to top out about 100 people, but it's mostly just the crazy people that are in the chat that make the show at this point.
Yeah.
So Simon would say, can you shoot something that's interdimensional? I don't know.
Willing to give it a try.
If it bleeds, you can kill it.
Jesus.
If it is interdimensional, obviously it's here and it's interacting with our environment. You would think that we would be able to physically interact with that. I don't know. The whole thing, though, too, is that we're not going out there trying to shoot anything. We carry pistols, and we've already said that we had that kill or no kill debate. And I'm just like, I don't know, man. I don't think that a lot of this stuff is good, but at the same token, the key word is think there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'm gonna go out gunning for something, because then you always run that risk. Is it just somebody hoaxing you?
Yeah.
Did I just kill some drunk dude from the next holler who's got a Amazon Bigfoot costume, and he's seen us going in there, and he's like, hey, I'm gonna mess with these people tonight. So
what's our next step? What do we do now? Bigfoot Society says, how much will it take for Joe to turn his hair blue as well?
What's up, buddy?
The blue doesn't come out. That's the thing. I was going to go gray in the front, but the blue's here to stay.
No one says everybody's got a price. So all right, dead air. Let's get back onto this. So
make sure you guys hit that like button. I don't know if you have yet, but you're going to have to, kids.
Hold on. Off the cuff links. Warning, I would like to send a gift. That's always a good way to start. Warning. I'd like to send a gift. An Australian Aboriginal clapping stick.
That would be cool. That would be
only
very
males
cool.
can touch per traditional lore. Would that be okay? I have never heard of an Aboriginal clapping stick.
When I see that I have a package from Australia, you're opening it because I'm not touching it.
What is I've heard the didgeridoo. I've heard of those, and bull roars and everything like that. But I've never heard of clapping sticks before. Yeah, man.
That's pretty cool.
If it's not doesn't impose upon you, shoot it our way, man. So heck, that's awesome. Mike A talks about how I can't see anybody wearing a monkey suit unless they're going to a Halloween party, especially in the woods. I never underestimate the power of humans wanting to mess with other humans.
Yeah.
And that's why we try to vary our approach up a lot and try to not go to the same place repeatedly. And we were talking about it a few minutes before. We were talking about how there's that area in North Georgia where we're pretty damn sure that there's like ritualistic occult activity going up there, and it ain't good, right?
Mm-hmm.
It ain't good. And one of the reasons we pulled out of there is we were getting real predictable. There's only one way in, one way out. There's only a couple places to put your vehicle up there. We had a pattern that had developed, and that was something that we worried about as far as like safety goes, from not necessarily a safety aspect, but we don't ever want to capture what might be good footage, and then it turned out that we were just too predictable and somebody decided to hoax us.
Yeah.
So we always try to stay a little unpredictable to try to cut down on that possibility of being hoaxed at that point. So Matt Keenan, what do you think that was causing that rhythmic tapping during daylight and the night drumming in that video? It wasn't a woodpecker, I can tell you that. It just wasn't a woodpecker.
We don't know.
I have no clue. I don't know. Be honest with you, I could maybe there was a natural cause to the tapping noise.
But the drumming was so distinct.
The drumming was just like flat out drumming.
Crazy.
And it's crazy because I hadn't gotten a lot of sleep the night before. I was exhausted. The heat was killing me. And Jessi's going, do you hear that? And I'm going, man, all I hear is like my pulse in my ears right now.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody even went, was that Joe's heartbeat that we heard? And I'm going, God, I hope not, because Joe ain't got much.
Joe's having a heart attack.
Joe's having a heart attack at that point. But I couldn't hear it. But then I could hear it when we listened to it at home. And that's just drumming. It's like rhythmic drumming.
Yeah.
There's no campgrounds around there. We're on a network of old roads. We're not, we know it's an old forestry road that leads in there. But then those other really deep cut roads where you found that old horseshoe at, those have been there for like
that's why it's also
150
handy
years.
to have this GPS out in the woods with you, because you can turn on this GPS and look around where you're at and find out everything that's around you that would be on a map. So any kind of campsite for the past 60 years would be on there.
And you don't have to necessarily rely upon Garmin's files there too. Mm-mm. There are people that will put up personally developed map files that you can download onto that. And
there's roads, like we were driving around a couple days ago. We were at the Laughing Beast area, and we're going through the forest, and we're driving down this old road, and you can't even tell there's roads on the sides of you, but they're on these old maps. So I was like, Joe's like, I'm driving, and he's like, there's a road over there, like an old unpaved road. I was like, well, not anymore. So there's everything's usually on this. We have found stuff that is not on these maps. We actually found something this weekend that was not on those maps.
And
but
Jason Layfield had also mentioned something we hadn't really talked about a lot. So we were getting those weird emails from North Georgia.
Yeah.
We've never gotten another one.
Yeah. We called that. We tried to get that guy to talk to us again. We emailed him several times.
Nothing. So
I tried to dig into him. I tried to,
we found out about the name, and that had a weird story to it that we'll eventually talk about.
Yeah.
But the name that was signed on that email, did we mention the name publicly? I don't think we did we? Okay. I'm not going to, but I'm just going to. The name that was on that email is from, can I say that?
Go ahead.
It's from somebody who went missing in that area like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Now I'm not saying that person's like sending us emails from like wherever they are. I think somebody chose that name knowing we'd look into it.
It's very weird.
And that we would just kind of go, that's odd.
Yeah.
But we never, and it'll be interesting to see if we get any more of those emails.
That'd be great, wouldn't it? Jason Griswirl is asking, what is the mushroom apocalypse about in tonight's title? I got obsessed, and I was planning if we didn't go off the rails of the chat like we usually do. I'm obsessed with this whole mushroom thing. There's this mushroom in the Pacific Northwest in the Blue Mountains that is the largest living thing on the planet. And it is giant. And it's basically got the entire forest on its back.
Yeah.
And I learned about it through a podcast. But I'm just obsessed with it. So that was the direction I was going to go if the chat didn't go off.
Well, if the chat just kind of failed, backup topic. And it's funny because as she read that, I'm reading like Laird Barron right now. I'm rereading his works.
You are, yeah.
And I don't know if you guys are familiar with him. He does like cosmic horror, but it's extremely intellectual cosmic horror. I know I'm not saying I'm intellectual because I have to constantly stop and go, what is he talking about here? But it's almost like you do a crash course and like really obscure weird stuff when you read his stuff. But one of his short stories was about a sentient, possibly extraterrestrial fungal growth in a cave that took people over. And Jessi goes, I'm reading about this huge fungus that's the biggest living. And I'm like, I'm reading about this fungus that might not be from here and might actually be sentient.
It periodically kills sections of the forest that's on its back and allows grasslands to grow and then grows trees again. Mm-hmm. So the nutrients go back into the soil. It kind of turns over the forest, and it does it in like a pattern. But the mycelium can transfer information from one end to the other and so quicker than any supercomputer that humans have ever built.
Yeah.
So I'm just convinced that the mushrooms are going to kill us.
Mushrooms are coming for us all.
So
Sophia Hightower, do you guys carry knives with you everywhere you go? Yeah, we're always armed when we're out doing this stuff.
Yeah.
Joan said, farm goes, and this is interesting because I thought about this. You have an Hellier type puzzle with those emails, it sounds like. We got that first email and you redacted it, but the person mentioned where we were filming at, where we were releasing videos from. So they knew where we were.
Yeah, they knew exactly where we were.
And they were like, hey, obviously you need to be careful up there. This is what's happened. Mentions these screaming lights. So we went up there looking for the screaming lights. We're expecting to see lights like screaming over our heads. And for me, that's more terrifying than going out and looking for stuff running around on the ground. We never did experience screaming lights, but we did experience that weird burning light and then the audio and all that.
Yeah.
And that's when I'm going, okay, at first I thought it was maybe just somebody recognized where we were and was messing with us. And then when they started talking about the lights came down and take people, somebody had left a comment earlier today going, hey, you guys found that scorch mark. Is that where maybe one of these lights touched down? And I went, I've often thought about that. But we've never gotten any other emails on it. You know what I'm saying? So we've never gotten any other emails on it. So it could have just been somebody messing around with us. And it was just a lucky guess. It could be somebody who actually has some knowledge about the area up there and was trying to scare us, or it could be something legitimately weird.
The area brought receipts, didn't it?
Like the area definitely lived up to it, man. So
Joey Blue Eyes asked, have either of you actually seen a Dogman or a Sasquatch? I've not had like what you would consider a Class A sighting.
No, never. We saw that what might be a Dogman on thermal at the LBL. Saw that, and then we have seen a couple of times black figures with like glowing eyes in the woods. And then we saw whatever the hell that was at the LBL.
But nothing like a
Class B.
Clear,
no, never.
Right there.
Never.
That's what it is. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
There have been a couple nights where we've looked at each other and gone, get ready, this might be the night.
Yeah.
But I do think that if we had that close and that blatant of an encounter, we ain't coming out of the woods to talk about it.
Probably not. What the Flock says, you should do Randonautica video in your exploration area. We don't have cell signal.
Yeah.
So you need that for Randonautica.
There was an X-Files with Mulder and Scully being consumed by the fungus.
Yeah. See what I'm saying? The apocalypse is nigh. The mushroom apocalypse is nigh. Richard Cox, thank you for this. If I go missing, I won't be sending emails. Thanks, Richard.
I still think that somebody
use that as a breadcrumb.
I think that there's a series of breadcrumbs going on there, and we know that there are people operating up there as well. I don't know if somebody's leading us breadcrumbs thinking that we were going to get to the bottom or uncover something, or if they didn't want us poking around up there and they wanted to leave some breadcrumbs. It's going to be like wiffle blower now. Breadcrumbs. Some breadcrumbs. Stephen Vanderland, thank you for that. 11 pounds, I believe that is. Or is that euros?
Yes.
Euros?
Euros. That's an E.
We're hillbillies from the mountains, Stephen. We don't know this.
Stefan, thank you.
You guys are amazing. Thank you. Many times, like in Missing 411, you hear about a cloaking device like Predator. Do you know if the U.S. Army has something like that? Or is there really something out there that ain't no man?
I think the military definitely has cloaking capabilities.
We saw something in Western North Carolina. We were out next to the Pisgah Bear Sanctuary up there. One of our research areas used to adjoin to the Pisgah Bear Sanctuary.
We can actually even say where we were.
Yeah.
So we were, if you're familiar, because it's our family cemetery is near there. But it's Lake Logan Drive. It goes up to the Blue Ridge Parkway. So we take Lake Logan Drive from Bethel in the Crusoe area where I actually grew up, and take Lake Logan Drive up to the Blue Ridge Parkway. But we had a little area where we would go, we'd pull over and we'd go off into the woods, and it's in the Pisgah Bear Sanctuary.
And we saw something. We were up there during the daytime on a trail and it was raining, and it looked like the raindrops were hitting what looked like saran wrap stretched across the.
Yeah.
And we were even kind of going, is this going to be like a giant spider web when we get up to it?
It's a weird glimmer to it.
Yeah. And they just seemed like they hit and kind of just like you would stretch saran wrap out and rain got on it. And then when we got up there, we didn't see anything at all. So we were never sure whether that was just a trick of the light or legit something was there like that. I don't know. I do think that there is, I mean, stealth technology is old hat at this point, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I am pretty sure that the government has the ability to probably bend light at will and actually just, you know, dabble around with invisibility at this point.
In reference to the clacking sticks, off the cuff link says, cool bananas, no imposition at all. I was more concerned about Jessi deep spiritual beliefs and imposing on Jessi's spiritual energy. Once we start resonating, we learn frequencies. Yeah, I'm not going to open the box. That's going to be Joe all the way. So that's going to be in Joe's space, Joe's area. It's going to be far away from me.
Robert Randolph, do you think the existence of cryptids are proven by science? It will take the mystery of the unknown away. My personal belief is that.
Boy, that opens up more mystery, doesn't it?
Opens up more mystery. I think that we're starting to realize that we have and is not today still on the chat because he'll just go crazy with this. We're starting to realize that there's our understanding of science explains a good chunk of reality. But then there's stuff that operates outside of that reality that, you know, Newtonian physics, you know, doesn't really explain. And then we thought it happened at a quantum level, just, you know, but it didn't happen like in the real world, like where we're at. And I think we're starting to realize now that it does. I think that if they acknowledge that these things exist, I think that might happen over the next few years, or kind of dance around it the way they're dancing around UAPs. Prove it. I don't know how long it would be before that would be done. Okay. Because I don't know if you can prove it. Even if it did happen, I think acknowledging it would happen, proving it, but then explaining it, that's like a real far bridge at this point, man. Mm-hmm. And I think that you would need to have some sort of explanation to take the mystery out of it. But I don't know. It's a good question. So
I've made it to the end of the old chatterini.
We've kept up nicely with the chat. So
let's look at us. Gold stars all around. You're doing great.
Doing great. See, I don't know, man. If cryptids are proven, channels like this will explode.
As in, like, will melt down, or like it'll get really popular?
A little column A, a little column B.
Yeah.
I think. Actually, it would be the fact that we try some weird out the box stuff, right? We try stuff that, like the infrasound stuff. We're still doing a deep dive down that, and you don't really see a lot of other people do that. Some of the equipment we carry and some of the stuff we try is out there, but at the end of the day, we're not Gary Nolan. You know, we're not working at Stanford trying this stuff. We're rank amateurs doing this stuff. Uh-huh. So if it did get proven, you would actually have some people with the resources and the training, because you need very specialized training for this. No one person could do any of this. If it got to that point, you would need somebody who, you know, people that were just extremely, extremely knowledgeable in very, very, very narrow fields. Guess what? There's like, the world is filled with like professional observatories with professional astronomers. There's still a ton of backyard astronomers out there that do it just for like their love of what's going on or their interest.
Sometimes the backyard astronomers get those big pieces of
exactly
evidence.
Right. So I think that that would not preclude people that actually seriously get out there and doing it from seriously getting out there and doing it. So, all right. Susan Christmas out expecting to see me pimped out with bling next week. I ought to get a big hat.
I do have like a vintage fur coat we can put you in.
Done. So
it's going to look like a child's coat on him.
Done. All right, guys, we're going to
do last call in a second.
We're going to do last call in a second.
Yeah. Make sure you hit that like button on the way out.
Would it kill you to hit the like button? And hey, man, you guys were overwhelmingly generous tonight. I'm kind of taken aback by that.
Yeah.
We really appreciate all that. I will have to show you guys what we used it for. And it will not be a fur coat and a pinky ring.
Or a lobster.
I just had that laying around. We already had that.
We already had that pinky ring.
I'll have like the price tag still dangling from it there, you know. Oh, this old thing. Oh, I've had this for years, you know. Our boy Arcane Discovery popped in. Hello.
Oh my God. You need a big chain and have, it'll say, it's all diamonds and gold.
Of course.
And it'll say Big Cryptid Daddy.
Big Cryptid Daddy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, congratulations on your investment, people. No, actually,
we should have had more sinister laughs there.
But we are getting some new spectrum analyzing equipment.
Stefan came back in. Just another weird story. My mother worked for a patent agency, and I read a patent in the early 90s for hatching a T-Rex egg. True story. Love you all. Don't leave us hanging, man. Did they insinuate that this could be done if they found a T-Rex egg, or did they have
Did they already have it?
T-Rex egg that they could do it with? How close to Jurassic Park were you? Cannot. Thank you for that very much. Oh, hey, Rare Robert. He was the one who said about the witchcraft thing. No offense taken at all, man. It is not. Again, we carry. I carry like holy water, blessed black salt.
So you're gonna say we carry our hearts on our sleeves? No.
I carry holy water, blessed black salt sometimes, because when we carry that out, the activity kind of dries up. But we do have that here.
I use a lot of different stuff. I use graveyard dirt for stuff, holy water, black salt. But we do a. It's kind of a mixed bag of beliefs and.
Yeah, but it's not like witchcraft when you think witchcraft. And it's definitely not, because again, when we started getting more and more involved in North Georgia, and we kind of started hearing more and more stories about the group that was operating up there, that's like pure evil. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's pure evil.
Darkness.
And we had actually discussed, we were just going, if we run across these people up here one night, man, I mean, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Arcane Discoveries. Thank you for that, man. Super sticker.
Dope.
I'm trying to put it up. Arcane Discoveries, thank you. Maybe I'll invest in a better mouse for my computer next time. Do you know what I'm saying? So, nope, sticking with the fur coat. So,
Josh Turner says gold is very expensive. You'll need some more donations. Big Cryptid Daddy.
Big Cryptid Daddy. So, all right, here we go.
Sorry, we're just so in tune with our timing here, Joe.
Yeah, we are, exactly. Ray, thank you for another excellent live chat. Y'all rock. My work schedule gives me Monday for the live chats. Yeah, that's
awesome.
We appreciate that, and B, we appreciate that everybody was able to join us tonight for this. So, we think that we are going to hold on. I'm sidetracked. They did extract DNA from the egg, also a cure for AIDS.
Wait. Was the cure from AIDS
the T-Rex egg?
The T-Rex egg? Please, God, yes. Yes. Can T-Rexes cure AIDS?
I mean, hold on. It's tonight the 40th live?
Yes.
It is?
Yeah.
Check that out. Not bad, huh?
Based on the title, Holler Live number 40.
I didn't look at that. I'm sorry. I just, Jess is the creative one. I'm just the one who carries everything. That's awesome. Congratulations.
Judging by Jumpergate.
I'd like to congratulate myself for that. I think
congratulations.
I've done a great job over the last 40 episodes.
Okay. Well, we did do the Devil's Night Live. And then I think we had another like special edition, but in terms of like regular lives, yes, this is the 40th one.
We are probably going to figure out what we're going to do for
Devil's Night
Halloween this year, and where we're going to go to. I don't know if I want to go up to the area where we think, but at the same token, I don't know. We've got some pondering to do on that, on what we want to do for.
Do you want to do a Devil's Night Live?
If we can find somewhere that has signal.
That's going to be a Monday. Devil's Night's on a Monday. Yeah. So we kind of have to.
But we have to find somewhere that has activity and cell signal.
Maybe our new friend can get us into somewhere that has a gate. We'll talk about it later.
Josh Turner coming through. Buy some gold.
Yeah, there you go. Big Cryptid Daddy.
Josh, we greatly appreciate that.
Thank you.
And thanks for joining the chat tonight.
Yeah,
we appreciate it. I know you're busy, and I appreciate you kind of hung out for the whole thing. And B, y'all are gonna crap your pants if I come up with a Big Cryptid Daddy necklace on sometime,
Please
man. Oh no, it's gonna happen.
I want a divorce. I'm taking half of these super chats. Paul M, good night, sir. Yeah, we're gonna cut out in a
Yeah,
second.
we're gonna done. Hey, thank you guys again. Thank you everybody that
Yep. Thank you
contributed
guys
tonight.
so
We
much.
appreciate it. So
Stingray 975. Nothing could be worse than a T-Rex with a.
I think we should end on that note. I think we should end on that note. There we go. Nothing else needs to be said. So.
Oh no. Oh. What's
That's our swan song. Trust me.
what's that T-Rex been up to? Okay.
All right.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us here at Help Out Holler.
You will probably see a video. What are you going to put out this week where we did the
I have where we went to the Laughing Beast area and have all of our audio equipment set up and stuff like that. I've got that. I got some old LBL stuff from February
that we never released.
That we haven't released. So I can.
And you've got Lost Cove still.
I've got Lost Cove. I might do some from the archive stuff.
Okay.
Y'all get some. Y'all get some from me.
You'll get something.
You'll get something from me. Because I go back to work soon. So I gotta get some videos out. Yeah. So thank you guys. It is the 40th episode. Congratulations, Joe.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
I've done a hell of a job.
Great job. Thank you guys. Good night. Have a wonderful
guys,
night.
Thank you all again.
Thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts, from the cockles and the subcockles of our hearts. Thank you so much. You guys are the reason we do this. You guys are the reason we're able to do this. You guys are the reason we're able to go forward doing this. Keep watching the videos. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Tell everybody you know about Hellbent Holler. Cajun Contagion guy. It's not a leaf. It's not a leaf. So thank you guys so much. Congratulations, Joe.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Joe. Oh God, we're gonna let the chat run for a minute because you guys are still rolling, but we're gonna go make some dinner. And thank you guys so much. We love y'all. Let's put up some music. Bye, guys. Appreciate it.